All right, welcome to today's very, very powerful, I would say, what if there's one secret, one story you hear on today's call that changes your life forever? We are discussing the ancient secrets of a master healer, in which when you apply these secrets, so many powerful things are possible in your life. A possibility to face any challenge, possibility to face any difficulty. Dr. Rahman, even in the second chapter of the book, he says, whatever is your challenge, your obstacle, your heartache has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. Now, individually and collectively, we're facing things that we have never faced before often. I just want to see a raise of hands. First of all, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for taking time. Today will be a really special, powerful experience. And so I'm so grateful, whether you're here live or watching the recording, that you're taking time to really internalize this message. But who feels like they're going through some pretty big transition in your life right now? Who feels like they're in something right now? Okay, we see almost everyone with their hands up. Thank you for being here. Really honor that space. Yeah, there's a lot happening. Who feels like just generally on planet Earth, like on the planet, we're going through some pretty big transitions? Just raise your hand if you feel like you can. Yeah, I see some people. Esther Francis, she's raising both hands on that one. So in this space of transition, what do we do? What do we do to nourish and nurture ourselves so we're so grounded that we can be part of? Dr. Am says either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And so in this particular case, how do we be part of the solution? How do we have the resiliency that when we face what we face, which is, I think, unprecedented in humankind, when we're facing this, or in your own life, when you're facing new challenges that you didn't expect, what can we draw from? What resources and what resourcefulness can we draw from that helps us in those powerful times? Now, just announcement wise, we know coming up starting in August, there's a 7-day detox, a 28-day detox. Carol Ray, I don't know if her was coming in and out a little bit, but
I think I'm okay now.
Okay, you want to share anything about those, just so people are prepared in their mind and know what's coming?
Yeah, the 7-day starts on Friday the 5th at 5 p.m. Pacific time as a group. And then we're going to do 7-day of a detox with no purchase of herbal supplements required. We're going to do it with our kitchen herbs and support each other as a group. We have about 50 people signed up so far. So that's going to be some fun, we hope. And there's a lot that can happen in 7 days. And it's also a time for spiritual cleansing as well, and maybe detach a little from a lot of the negativity that's going on in the world so that we help raise our own vibration and can help heal ourselves as we help support the healing of the world.
Beautiful. And one of my favorite things is that even my mom, she's signing up. She's so excited. And I overheard her. She was calling one of her friends, and her friend, she's like, you're important to me. Your health is important to me. Your happiness is important to me. So I'm actually going to give this to you as a gift. And so I'm so happy about that. And that an opportunity right at this moment in time to get our body free from toxins. Actually, Gary, can you speak to that just a little bit? When your body is free from toxins, what happens mentally, emotionally, physically?
What an honor. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, it's like we're in such a literal culture that we think it has to be tangible and physical manifested reality. But of course, in the same way that thoughts are things, the context within which we feel or have access to spirit has an even just a very beautiful relationship to our outer reality, right? So it's just, if you can use the power, the vibrations.
Surprise!
He was fooling me. He didn't want to hear what I had to say.
So fun. It's so fun to be with Gary, and he is having such a big transformation happen right now. He's also joining the 28-day detox, which is starting. So you keep talking. I didn't. Just
No,
wanted
no,
to-
no. You guys, I'll tell you, I decided to cancel everything when I found out that he was in my state, and I drove down 7 hours on Friday to hang out and be in the week, have the weekend with Clint this weekend, and it's been so good because since he was in Nepal for 3 months, and he and I have not had much to do with each other in the last few months, and I missed him. So I've been spending the weekend with him and having a blast. It's wonderful. My God, the people that I get to meet around Clint is pretty amazing. So really what I want to say is that because we can't touch or see the emotional and spiritual experience of the seeds of our experience, that's what music's destiny has to fulfill. We can design music as a way to slow us down and entrain us into certain frequencies that help us cultivate a ability to be samurais of resonance, right? So if we can actually feel nuanced experiences of the human range of emotion from the deepest sadness to the deepest joy, we get to clean ourselves so that actually we are able to sense resonance. We'll speak, maybe I'll have a chance to speak about that a little bit more when I share my pieces, but I just really, really want to say that I have this vision, and I've been blaring about it to Clinton, who's here for the last 48 hours. I have this vision that the top four chakras can actually do an alliance with the ancient secrets cleansing processes and actually cultivate certain pieces of music each day that will activate the heart and your empathy and activate your courage in the gut and activate your sense of sensitivity to compassion and love and presence. So these things can be actually cultivated as vibraceuticals rather than nutraceuticals. So I want to create something like that for the ancient secrets community, and I'm hammering on Clint to let me do that. So he said, well, create a pilot, let's figure it out. So I'm gonna propose something to you got the core team, and so that might be coming in the future. Aren't you amazed, Clint, that I had the chutzpah enough to talk about this before you even agreed?
Well, I just think this is a community in which, we're letting love guide us.
That's right.
The opening quote in the book, Ancient Secrets of Master Healer, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will guide you. And the stories you're about to hear today, real life stories, are so powerful. In fact, I want to just welcome some of our guests. We'll have you share in just a moment, but first of all, I want to welcome Triveni and Gerard joining us from India. Triveni, are you there? Can we hear your voice?
Namaste, thank you.
It's so good to see you. And Gerard, thank you for helping coordinate and make this happen.
Oh,
I know,
sure.
I know, Triveni, you just flew back to Mumbai. From where were you?
From Delhi to Mumbai, just
From
I back at noon.
Just barely. She just barely arrived at noon, and then now it's 8:30 p.m. About 8:30 p.m. there in India. But thank you so much for taking time to be with us. So happy about
And
it.
just would like to apologize. It's Mumbai, it's monsoon, so you'll get a lot of rain sounds from our end. So it's apologies for that, but it might also add to the ambience a bit.
Yeah, we can feel like we're there, right with you in the monsoon. So beautiful. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm so grateful for everyone to know you and meet you and know what you're doing on this planet, and also to be inspired what's possible for all of us. When we let love guide us. And Triveni, I think you can, yeah, you're just such a beautiful example of letting love guide, even no matter what is the challenge. I mentioned at the very beginning, whatever is your challenge, your difficulty, your heartache has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. And the fact that you face such a big challenge and then have come through to do the amazing work that you're engaged in, how many lives have been touched, and it's just such an honor to be able to be in this space with you. So we'll play that video in a little bit. I also want to introduce Alessandrina. Sorry about that. Can you speak? I don't know if you're in a position right now where
Yes,
you
I can speak. Hello.
Yes, hello. So good to have you here.
Thank you. So good to be here with all of you.
And the first time you met Dr. Naram, tell me what year was that? Do you remember?
Yes, it was in 2018.
2018. And she
Yes.
has such a powerful story about how Amrapali's secret. So how the home remedy, first of all, that's now in the back of the book on page 292, changed her life. And then how now it's the last week in which the Amrapali's secret, the last week of this special offer, the last formula that Dr. Ram created. This is the last batch of the last formula that he personally created. And it's just such a cool and powerful and amazing thing. And so when you hear Alessandri, I'm going to make sure I'm saying your name right. Alessandrina? Okay, because I keep saying it a little bit different, but so glad you're here. And also, I don't know where Dexter is, but man, such powerful creators. And not only that, but when you have life given to you in a way where pain goes away, where clarity comes, emotional stability, and so many things happen, then what do you do with your life? You know, the ancient secrets isn't just about overcoming dis-ease. It's about what do you do with your life? And what she is doing now with her life is so powerful and so significant for humanity. You know, as we're facing unprecedented challenges, it has her fingers in the midst of unprecedented solutions. And it'll be fun to hear a little bit about that. And then also Dr. Cynthia. I don't know if you can unmute and say hello, Cynthia, but she had such
Hi,
transformation.
everybody.
Ah,
Namaste. So good to see you all.
so good to see you. Her story about what just happened in the last few months as she joined the Miracle Experiment experience and has been engaging with the ancient secrets is so heart-touching. And so having set this context, Gary, I want to ask you, I'm thinking what we do is we share Triveni's story first and then do this special unreleased musical clip. Does that feel good to you? Oh, you're muted right now. Let's just
Yeah. No, whatever feels best, Clint. That sounds fine. That sounds good. I think that people will be inspired by her story, and then how can we cultivate that quality for the things that we care about most would be a beautiful next step.
Yeah. And Jaina, I want you to welcome anyone who this is their first time on the call. I don't know if you can just unmute yourself and welcome. So as I go personally into a month of no phone, no computer, no internet, I'm just so honored and grateful to have just the depth and strength of a community that just is guided by love. And so Jaina will be guiding the calls over the month of August. I saw Susan Engman just gave us such a great idea for how to make it life-changing, that you will not want to miss it. And Jaina, do you want to welcome anyone who's new on the call today?
Yes, I would like if you could put your hand up or unmute and say hello. Anybody who's new today. Great. How do you say your name? Is it Giselle? Giselle? Would you unmute and say hello?
Hi.
So good to see you. Can you tell us how you found us?
A friend sent me the link and sent me the book. So it was, I started reading it and it really touched me profoundly. And so he sent me the link for this and I said, okay. And I just sat in there and I a little overwhelmed, but grateful.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
And Linda Smith, are you new to the call?
Yes, I am. To my best belief and knowledge, this is my first time on those Sunday 8 a.m. Pacific time miracle calls. I'm in Mount Shasta, California. I hear rumors like it's the first chakra of the world or it's a crown chakra of the world. It feels like the safe place in the world with all the extreme climate change and all the chaos that's going on. Any questions for me? Chris Richardson gifted me with the book, Ancient Secrets of the Master Healer. And I was in the 30-day MME group. And the biggest miracle was having all my self-hate removed forever. And the second biggest miracle was winning this court case with the state and be able to keep my unemployment insurance. Pandemic brought me all this money and I didn't used to have long stories, so I'll keep it brief. It was great witnessing Tara and Ramarishi. I always mispronounce his name sometimes. Experiencing a miracle. He got their trailer now. And I'm at the 28-day detox program. I signed up for that. So I trust he got my order and they'll soon send out my package of herbs. And I have the ebook.
Wow.
Any other questions for me?
Linda, wow, that is full immersion. wow, that's amazing. What you were saying about releasing self-hate through the MEE game is no small thing. The MEE principles are extremely powerful, and it sounds to me like you really took them to heart and you really embrace them to be able to release some very large things. That's amazing. So congratulations.
Yeah, and I
Thank you.
had the blessing of meeting Linda when she came for the
Yeah.
Pulse clinic we did in Mount Shasta. And Linda, I'm so happy to
Yeah.
hear what you just shared. And
Me too.
yeah, and yeah, Bill as well. And how
Yeah.
powerful a lot of the stories today are about how when you shift something inside of you, actually. You know, Dr. Am, he had a quote in Sanskrit. He said, the outer world is a manifestation of the inner world. And how when you shift things inside of you, how does it change things outside of you? And the fact that you got rid of this self-hate, or that it disappeared from your life in the course of reading the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, and following the principles in the miracle experiment experience. And then to see things like court cases go, and then abundance to come. In fact, the next miracle experiment experience will be in September. It's focused on abundance. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at a certain point, but I'm so happy you're doing the 28-day detox. And I'm so excited to see what's next for you, Linda. And for
Yes, I'm taking the Aya Shakti herbs for my current roster of ailments. And I'm going to grab a cup of tea. I've been having breakfast during his call. Had rearranged these to make it totally worth it.
Good. And thank you, Chris Richardson. Actually, thank you everyone who's introduced us to this experience. I'm so grateful for who introduced me. And I just kind of feel like it's a good place to honor that space. So anyone else who's new, we're so grateful that you're here. Thank you, Jaina, for being willing to kind of guide the
Love Mount Shasta, California.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Linda. And thank you, Jaina. So now, today's topic is a little bit sensitive in some ways, this first story, and it can have a tendency to bring up many things in us. And so I just want to start by having a spaciousness that the divine in us can meet whatever is the challenge. And that we'll understand that in this sacred space, we can be willing to trust the Atiti Devo Bhava, that the unexpected guest that comes, is God or goddess or God himself or herself arriving, that has some divine gift for us. And we will have a breakout room where we're going to be talking about what is love taught you at the end of this call. What is love guiding you to do? And I just want you to be open that what comes into your heart and your mind on today's call may surprise you. It may not be something that you've thought of previously, because usually we wake up in the morning, we only do what we think is possible. You know, one of the most amazing gifts of being with Dr. Naram for all those years was my vision of what's possible expanded over and over and over again, you know? And so what if your idea of what's possible in your life, what things that you can do, what things you can contribute to and support expands, and to trust that, you know, what's possible for your health, physical, mental, emotional, what's possible for your role on planet Earth right now at this time. Why were you born now? And then what do you want? What is your mission to fulfill in this lifetime? So just be open to some magic and some mystery, that some insight, some understanding may come to you on today's call. And I just, with love, I'm so grateful that you're here. There's no accident you're here right now. So having spoke that, Triveni, her own personal story is one in which she was not expecting this to happen in her life. She was not expecting to follow the path. Would you say, Triveni, that's accurate, that it came as a surprise to you, the path that you're on and what you've been doing and involved with? Would you say it was a surprise, that it was unexpected? Oh, can you hear me okay? Yeah, there we go. I can hear you.
Can you hear?
Yeah, there I can hear you. Yeah. Would you say? Oh, go ahead.
I think I'd contribute
Please, Gerard.
in her stead. So like you were saying, so it was a complete chance that as to what led to this path. And every time I hear the story, whether it's from her or whether it's from one of the older employees or from even some of the girls who have been here for a long time, to them they're like it was chance by chance that somehow ma'am came into their lives and everything changed for the better, despite despite everything that stood in the way. The obstacle then became the way, so it was the story itself. The first time I heard from ma'am, her journey and what happened, and from being a journalist in the early 90s in a country where it's very difficult to get into those dark places, because she was doing investigative journalism, and then to suddenly start fighting against traffickers and choose a path that's completely on a different tangent, and also brave the storm of all, whether it was the gangsters, the mafia, even society, who didn't fully understand or couldn't differentiate between girls who were who didn't choose that path and were stigmatized or ostracized, and to stand by them. It still moves me every day that I am here with her.
You said a lot of things that were impactful, and we're about to watch a video in which you can see a glimpse into Triveni's life, and also Gerard and the wonderful people that are part of Rescue Foundation. As you watch it, I want you to really listen to the words that Gerard said. The obstacle was the path. The obstacle was the way. And we use the principle of Titi Devabhava, treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come. You may have some obstacle that's in your life right now, or some challenge that you're facing, some transition that you're in. And what if the divine is guiding you through something, trying to birth something through you? And so as you're watching this short video clip, and then we'll go back to Triveni and Gerard, be open to whatever is your obstacle is your way, is the path. That's a beautiful way to say it, Gerard. Thank you for that. So is it okay if I share the video now? Okay, I'll share this video. Let me open this up here. Okay. This is a short video. Get settled in your seat, open your heart and your mind, and we'll enjoy being inspired by this true, powerful story.
मैडम आप एक मिनट आ जाओ बेटा आ जाओ सब लोग नेहा बुला सबको बेटा आ जाओ थोड़ा साइड हो ना साइड पे आ जाओ साइड पे आ जाओ चलो साइड और कौन है बेटा कोई नहीं और नीचे थोड़ा नीचे नीचे बैठ जाओ कांची ताला कांची उसको संभाल के रख एक हो रहा है।
नहीं, हम लोग के मतलब फैमिली में इतना अच्छा नहीं था जो मैं स्कूल जा सकूं, तो मैं नहीं पढ़ पाई। तो उतने छोटे में मुझे कोई काम भी नहीं देने वाला था, तो मेरे पापा के एक दोस्त थे, उनसे मैंने बात किया और मैं बाहर में चली गई। पर एक ऐसा जगह है जिसमें छोटे या बड़ा कोई देखता नहीं है।
और रेड लाइट एरिया की बात करें, लड़कियों की बात करें, तो सबसे पहले उनकी मिसिंग कंप्लेंट्स आती है, जो हमारे नेटवर्किंग एनजीओस है वहाँ से। बाद हमारे इन्वेस्टिगेटर जो है उनका रोल शुरू होता है। वो एज अ डेको कस्टमर ब्रॉथल में जाते हैं। उसके बाद में वुडन कैबिन्स आती है। लड़की सिलेक्ट करने के बाद जो 4x6 की जो छोटी छोटी कैबिनें रहती है उसमें पलंग रहता है छोटा सा। तो इन ब्रॉथल काउंसलिंग ही सबसे बड़ी बात है, क्योंकि ऐसा तो ज़रूरी है नहीं कि वो लड़की आप पहली बार उसको जाओगे और पहली बार में आपको पूरी की पूरी स्टोरी बता देगी, क्योंकि उसके साथ तो अभी तक धोखा ही होता हुआ है।
चलो चलो चलो
अरे अंदर नहीं आना।
मैं मेरी छोटी बहन के लिए ऐसा चाहती हूँ कि जो मैं रेस्क्यू फाउंडेशन में थोड़ा सीख रही हूँ वो आगे जाके कुछ काम में लगाऊँ, और मेरे भाई बहन लोग को मैं थोड़ा पढ़ा के जो ज़िंदगी मैंने गुजारी अभी इतने टाइम तक, वो ज़िंदगी मैं इन लोग को नहीं गुजारने दूंगी। अभी जहाँ तक मैंने सीखा है उससे कई बढ़कर सीख के मैं इन लोग के लिए कुछ अलग करके दिखाऊंगी।
Hmm. We have a tradition in our community to rub our hands together and send love. And I just want to send love to you and to all these wonderful girls that you've been helping, and women. Just want to send you love from all over the planet. We love you and we're with you. So I just want you to see their faces. I think if I do a gallery view, you can see this love coming to you from all over the world. I don't know if you can see that now. Thank you. Yeah. Gandhi has a quote, when when you help one of us, you help all of us, that we're all interconnected. And that when you alleviate suffering anywhere, you're alleviating suffering for all of us. When you're creating hope for all of us. And I really feel like you're doing that. I want to open up, so anyone in the community that wants to ask you a question, would that be okay, Triveni? Or first of all, do you want to speak something from your heart? Anything in your heart you want to share? For us who are maybe becoming aware of the magnitude of the situation for the first time, could feel overwhelming, could feel sensitive. In your heart, any message you want to share with us?
Thank you, Dr. Clinton. I'm not very comfortable in English, so maybe I not explain everything, but you have no idea about the pain of traffic victim. When I was journalist before 3 decades, I have no idea about the human trafficking. And first time I entered the red light district, and I have seen the brothel where very small girls, we say kids, are in sex trade. And when I have seen the small girl, and I feel maybe she is my daughter, then what can I do? So that time, this is my life-changing gear start. Because that time I decided, when I asked the girl, you are not studying, where is your mother? And she said, I am sex worker. 10 years old girl told me that I am sex worker. And agent sold me here, my parents in Nepal. And I am doing here very bad thing. And please help me. Please rescue me. And I promise her, we will help you. And then I told to my husband, and immediately we start the rescue girls who are in forced prostitution. In India, there is a thousand of women and girls, very small kids are in prostitution. And there is no NGO to work for them, because sex worker is very, even our community, our society are not happy and not ready to hear sex worker. And when we start the rescue girls and women from sex industries, even our family, our neighbors, our community oppose our work. And the mafia, gunda, antisocial elements all threatening us. But we continue our mission, and one day there is a incident. They killed my husband. So yeah, but we continue our mission, and now more than 300 survivors, traffic survivor, are our for shelter home, and continue our rescue operation going on. So many challenges, every day new challenges. But because of you, like you, supporter, donor, they help us, they motivate us, encourage us. So we continue our work. My colleague, I am not very comfortable in English. My colleague Gerald will explain more about our activity, our journey.
Hmm.
And
Triveni, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, Aparna, she's typing in the chat. You speak very well, Triveni, with your actions. Many regards. Thanks to the Rescue Foundation. And you are speaking so powerfully and so beautifully. And for anyone, as you're listening to this call, imagine that moment when you see someone reaching out and saying help. And it's not, you can have all kinds of excuses. You could say, no, it's not my position, it's not my role. And then when you actually help, Triveni, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you went to help that first girl, there was many girls that were there saying, please also take me. And then you have another moment of choice. And she says, okay, we're going to take all of them. And then what do you do at that moment with all these girls in your care? And then to have your neighbors disappointed, your family disappointed, to have the mafia threaten you. And now Triveni facing all of this with a fearlessness, or I can't say fearless, but with courage, a courage to embrace the fear and to move beyond it for the sake of what is right and what is good and what her soul was leading to her to and what love guided her to. is so powerful. So for any of us, you know, whatever is the struggle you're facing, whatever is the challenge that is in your life, you know, what is that connection to source, to the divine that's in you that can meet that challenge? Because you are born here for that reason. And Triveni, man, what a powerful example of that. Gerard, I want to go to you. You have some other things that you want to share.
I think we can maybe, I'm sure a lot of people would have questions. So, ma'am has already shared. I don't think I can do any more than that because she has even though she says she's not comfortable, but there is a lot that she said that, no matter how I say it, I wouldn't be able to say it better or pass on that message. So
Well,
yeah,
first of all, you are getting a lot of love. Susan Oneglia, she says, thank you so much from all our hearts. Let us know how we can support you. Blessings and stay well. We have a message from Ariona. Thank you so much for your great work and for being such a gift. And I would say not only to these girls, but to humanity. What a courage and a love. Incredible. Belle. So now basically what we wanted to do, many people are asking, how can we support? They're already asking. They want to know. And we have just a surprise gift for you from Ancient Secrets.
Can I share something before you continue?
Please do, Nehemiah, please.
Thank you, I raise my hand. I want to tell you both, you move my heart immensely. Being a journalist is great because you report on all the bad things, but taking the risk and acting on it, it's a different story. And you could have been killed anytime, but I believe God will protect you. I really believe God will protect you. And as a person, everybody is my brother and my sister, but you are in a special place because we are both doing the same thing. We respond to need in society with creating an organization. I created many of them by now. By the way, shalom and namaste. If Clint allow me 1 or 2 minutes, I want to sing you a song that will express my feeling about all these women. Because some of them are not snatched away, they make a mistake and rebel against their mother, the parents, or something, leave home and somebody tricks it. So there's a song, American song that sing it. Clint, it will take 1.5 minutes probably, and the song is so powerful, not me, the song. Is it okay?
Beautiful, please. Triveni, Gerard, everyone, is it okay if Nehemiah sings a healing song, a powerful song for us?
And just that you know, all these women don't get to Bombay, they go to the Red District in New York, and it was in the center of New York with everybody knowing the red lights, Times Square. Now they hide it, but it's still there. So they are all over the place, and I know them. I responded to other needs because everyone is calling, but it's really touched. So I'll sing you the song. So many of you know it. It's a woman, the girl is singing. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. It's been the fall of many poor girls, and me, oh Lord, one. If I had listened to what my mother said, I would have been at home today. But I was young and foolish, oh Lord. What can I say? Go tell girls in all the world, don't do what I have done, because there is a house in New Orleans called the Rising Sun. Thank you. And Clint, thank you for reading my email this morning also. And I hope we talk before you go into silence. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nehemiah. Beautiful. For those that want to be a part of a solution that is really making a difference, Dr. Naram is the one that introduced me actually to Triveni. Do you remember when we went there, and Dr. Naram's brother, and we went to one of the shelters and we created a big meal and a celebration, a party actually to celebrate what had happened. And I got a chance to meet many of these girls, and with Dr. Naram and his brother, Vidut, began the process, and also with Dr. Smita and Krishna. And so we have a big love for what you're doing and a big desire to support. And we actually found someone. So anyone who just feels inspired, I put the link for ancientsecretsfoundation.org. And when you donate through ancientsecretsfoundation.org, we have someone who's willing to match your donation and support in this beautiful, powerful way. So that way we can continue to help this work move forward. And in the future, I have some more ideas as well of ways in which our community can be involved in this. And so we'll talk more about that as time goes on. Gary, I know that you also have a musical piece to kind of drop us in our hearts. But before we go to that, does anyone have any questions for Triveni or anything you want to share from your heart? Like
Oh, I do. I don't know if anyone can hear me. This is Rafael.
Yeah.
In Mount Shasta. Hello, everyone. I have known, this is for Triveni and the partner. I
Gerard.
couldn't remember their names.
Yeah.
I have known about human trafficking for many, many years, and wanting it is probably, I feel, the greatest severe darkness and problem on the earth, more than starvation, more than immigration problem. It is the one staring us all in the face for those who know about it. And I mean, I have 8 grandchildren, and you know, they're in a great home with their parents, my daughter and her husband and so forth, but still there's always this kind of possibility and threat and danger just about everywhere. It is the hugest problem on the earth. And so I was so moved to tears by the documentary, the short film. I've watched many documentaries over the years, and the investigative journalists and those who form the rescue is astounding, that work. And so it just amazes me, the risk, the courage, the danger involved, but just like you said, Clint, of somebody reaching out and saying help. And like the woman said, the pain in these women and men too. I mean, there's boys, young boys as young as 4 years old. The pain involved is absolutely unimaginable. And so the rehabilitation you're doing, it's incredible work. And so when you asked about how to support, there, of course, donations and all the prayers. And I love how everyone's saying God will protect you, love will protect you. And so I am definitely going to include you both in my prayers daily, or as much as I can remember, to make sure you are protected, that all of these children and teens, all of them, that they can be rescued, and there is this movement. You're not alone in your investigation, in your rescue. There are other organizations I hear about undercover that go in and pretend they're a so-called client, and then they're rescuing these girls. And like you said, Clint, they think they're rescuing a few, and then they find hundreds even more that are hiding behind, and it's just amazing work. So I am going to include you in my prayers of protection, along with all those that you're helping. So thank you so much for sharing. I was absolutely moved to tears, and may you be an ultimate protection and be guided in every single way. And I'm just sorry about the woman's husband and the threat of the moth. It is overwhelming. But thank you so much for sharing this very deep and sensitive subject on this call, where we can open to more of those miracles, God's protection, the love, and the support, and just the miraculous events that can take place amidst such apparent darkness. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rafael, so beautifully for sharing. Triveni, you want to share anything in response, or Gerard?
Yeah. So thank you. Last 30 years, we rescued more than 6,000 girls and women from the red light area. So if we go for rescue for one girl, and 10 girls say we want to go out from this business, so we can't say no. So after Corona, there is girls and women are very vulnerable situation. Not only India, but our neighboring countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, even so many countries. Girls are from Thailand, from Uzbekistan, from Myanmar. So at present we have a 7 different countries girls in our shelter home. Some girl at age 15 suffering HIV positive. Now one girl is in nursing home. She's unwed mother. Some girls are pregnant, some girls are depression, so many girls are in trauma. So each and every day we need the support from supporters. So even emotional support, you can spread the awareness about the human trafficking, and you can support our organization. You can support Dr. Clint. Otherwise, you can direct support Rescue Foundation. You can see our website. Website address is www.rescuefoundation.net. So you can see our website, and you can help for the legal, for mental health, for education, for training, for rehabilitation, and reintegration with community, with their family, and cross-border repatriation. So you can choose whatever you like, education, health, anything.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that there's so many, it's such a big need and such a big opportunity to be of service. And also, I believe, Dr. Ram, he would say that when you become involved in something like this, also when you feed animals, stray animals or dogs, or help the people who need it the most, or support the people that need it the most, such blessings come to you. Such healing happens inside of your heart. And it can be more, like, I love, Rafael, you're saying, it's not just financial as well, sending prayers, sending love. And I'll be guiding a trip to India actually within the next year. You can come, and we can also support physically, be there and love and support in beautiful ways. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that section of it. Triveni, Gerard, and I want to acknowledge also Gerard, thank you for also seeing the need and dedicating your life. And there's many other people who have supported Triveni and come to be a part of this solution and this cause. And so thank you for inspiring us. We have a special musical experience that Gary Malkin, this has never been shared before, but it's about when you face some horrible challenge, when you face something that as humanity, as we're going through this process of birthing whatever is coming, some things may get scary. Some things may get challenging, and whatever we're going to face, whether it's, when I was in Nepal with Dr. Ram, I was there the week before the earthquakes, and then right after some of the most devastating earthquakes that ever hit. And then with Dr. Ram, we would help people in the floodings from the hurricanes and the typhoons that would hit Houston or Florida. There's natural disasters. And then there's unfortunately man-made things that happen with all the kind of terrorist activities or shootings or different things. And then other things can happen with famine or whatever we're going to face on planet Earth and in our personal lives. How do we anchor ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, so that way we can be resourceful, so we can come not from fear and also not from ego. I'm sure Triveni and Gerard, sometimes you see people come to help or support, but maybe it's for their ego. They want their name attached to something. They want to be seen as someone that's great, or they wanted to, we can come from fear, we can come from ego, but why not we come from love? Love of Mother Earth. And Dr. Ram says there's Shakti power. Shakti is the divine feminine creative force on the earth. And every woman is born with this Shakti force, every girl and every woman. is a representation of the Divine Mother. And he says men can access Shakti only when they respect women. And so in this space, we have an opportunity to create a balance that hasn't existed previously, and to not do it from fear of what's coming on the planet, of what's happening, to not do it from ego, of will I get credit, of how will I look, of will this make me feel like a hero, whatever, but to do it from love. You know, when I think about my mom,
I lost you for a minute. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me still?
Hold on. Oh, I lost you. Here we go.
Put your thumb up if you can hear me. It could just be Gary lost me. Okay, so
No,
Gary,
I got it. I'm back.
Okay. When I think about my mom, how much I love her, you know, it's like I think about the earth. It's kind of a big thing, the earth. But when I think about Mother Earth, I think about my mom and how she loves me. Basically, when she has 8 kids, she would give her energy, her life, all of her, everything for us, you know, like that kind of Shakti love, you know. And then when I saw her in physical situation where it was hard for her after raising 8 kids to go up and down the stairs without gripping the railing, you know, and then to see the miracle unfold in this community where, you know, she loves me. And she even read the book. She loved the book, but she didn't do what's in the book until she was on this call and heard, you know, the beautiful, powerful woman, Luisa, who translated the book into Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, that she said her knees were at stage 4. She read the section on the home remedy. She did the mung soup. As a result, her knee pain went away, and the doctor was surprised that the stage 4 went to stage 2. Then my mom started taking the mung soup. And I thought, you know, it's so interesting because sometimes we love, but everyone needs to choose for themselves. And you never know when the love will hit here. And in the space of this community, because we're just guided by love and we're following love, I had the blessing and miracle of seeing my mom after 3 days of Mung Su Volni. She's like, oh, the pain in my right knee is gone. As she was going to serve her neighbor, actually, going to help her neighbor and serve her neighbor, she's like, oh. And now that she's doing the 28-day detox, just to see this unfolding is so beautiful. It makes me so happy. And so when you come from love, it may come in unexpected ways back to you that you may not ever anticipate, or to someone you love. And so acting from that space of love and acting from the space of courage. And so I just invite Gary to lead us through dropping into our hearts and being ready to allow the divine in us to meet whatever is that challenge. So Gary, if you could introduce this and guide us through this.
Well, so one thing I want to correct is that this has been played, but I think it's played only one time before here on the Ancient Secrets call. I think when you weren't here, Clint. So I might be wrong, but still, it's very powerful. One of my most beloved mentors, Lynn Twist, the author of The Soul of Money and the co-founder of the Pachamama Alliance, pachamama.org. I really don't have much more to add to what Clint said as an introduction, other than, you know, I'm thinking about an author, Charles Eisenstein, Sacred Economics author, and he talked about sometimes the most courageous contribution to the world is being the best mother or father or brother or sister or son or daughter that you can be, to be devoted and to the path of loving your family, caring for your children, could be the greatest act of courage. So these don't have to be grandiose missions in order for you to really appreciate and love what an amazing contribution you're making when you face the courage of being authentically who you are. So please forgive me, because the whole track is 9.5 minutes and we're not going to play the whole track. So I'm going to play the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And then when there's a break in between, I'd just love you to hold the space for, and throughout the whole time, thinking about what you're praying for courage inside of you. What is the thing that you want to call yourself forward to be the most courageous you can be? And I have to tell you that when I was creating this montage, which took extemporaneous, it wasn't written. Lynn, all the people that record Graceful speak from their hearts extemporaneously. So we converted a 30-minute piece into an 8-minute piece of dialogue. And as I was writing the music for this, it was completely reinforcing the the strength that I needed to make the change in my habits that I've been making in the last 8 weeks around swimming every day and eating better foods and preparing for the 28-day detox, which I'm about to do. So really allow this to be medicine for your heart and soul and courage. Here we go.
And Garrett, do you want us to spotlight people and just during the song, or just we drop in and we close our eyes? What do you feel is intuitively, what do you feel is best for this?
You know, I honestly believe that the greatest medicine for this is not to get distracted by the desire to want to. It's towards the end. I'd love to share something that's for that purpose, which is connecting to a community and sharing your love through your eyes. But this is about having the courage to love yourself enough to cultivate vibrational intelligence, the ability to resonate with the words and the music in a way that activate no molecule, no atom, no photon left behind, right? The way you really activate is your water molecules in your body vibrate to the alchemy of this spoken word and music. That's the optimal use of this. I hope you use it to whatever
So
is
instead of going outward, go inward. And whatever has been stimulated from what Treveni Gerard said, and also what's coming from Alessandrina and Dr. Cynthia, allowing that to settle and look inside for what happens in the space of this alchemical piece.
Exactly. Here we go. Let's all take a deep breath together. Hold it. May this benefit all of us in the most optimal way. Exhale.
In times of the greatest adversity, the greatest challenge, the greatest fear, the greatest horror, it's possible to find the greatest human being you've ever been. It comes when we call for it, because it's part of who we are. And when we're willing to call for it, it matches the mountain that's in front of us every time. In my life, I've known courage. I've known it was there, and I've known when it's gone. It's gone when we feel discouraged. It's gone when we don't know the way through, when we feel like retreating, when sadness or grief or overwhelm or fear seems to loom larger than anything in the whole wide world. But our heart can hold all of that and still exhibit courage. Because courage comes from the heart. Courage is the most bold and powerful expression of the heart. Courage is the heart at its finest, leading us into realms of being that we didn't know existed. We all have it, and we all express it, because it's who we are, and it's who you are right now. In the face of anything, just call for it, and it'll be there. No matter what happens to me, and more powerful, because it puts its arms around it and lifts it up as an offering. Now I know that no matter what happens to me, and no matter what happens to you, if you're willing to call on your heart to bring you the courage that you need to get through it, it will always be there. And it's infinite, it's eternal, and its strength is unbounded. Nothing is greater than the courage to live life, the courage to save life, the courage to contribute to life, and the courage to make a difference. My wish for you is that you find the courage that you need, no matter how difficult, no matter how crushing. Know that you can never be crushed. You can never be brutalized. Cruelty can never really touch the heart of who you are. You have the courage to meet that adversity and pull yourself through. Who you are is a being that's filled with light, that's filled with kindness, that's filled with strength, that's filled with love, and that is made of courage. Each of us has it. Call on it, and it'll be there. Because it's the heart of who you are.
It's the heart of who you are. So there's nothing, if we're learning anything from the Ancient Secrets community, it's especially with the support of the Sangha of the community, and especially with the understanding that we didn't come to heal ourselves, we came to love ourselves. We didn't come to heal you, we came to love you. All of these things are empowering us to be miraculous members of a loving tribe of people called the human race. May you call on the unlimited and innate courage that you have to be and do the only person you can be, which is the true and authentic you. Love you, and I'm with you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you all in the way that I do.
So beautiful, Gary. What a powerful piece. You know, that whatever's the horror that you're facing, the divine in you can meet that mountain.
I wanted to give the opportunity when I saw some in the chat. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Clid. That we are going to be launching that as a wisdom film on the Gaia TV channel, which is like $9 a month or something. And we'll have a link for you in a minute. I'll put it in the chat for how you can sign up for Gaia's wisdom films. We currently have 10 wisdom films there already. And they're beautiful for people that have a hard time meditating and sitting on that Zafu cushion and just being in that existential challenge of facing your source, which is the greatest gift you can give yourself. We have these training wheels called Islands of Inner Peace in Gaia, and we're launching the second series in the fall, but you'll be able to experience that as a film. And then we're also going to release later in the year an album of all the wisdom films of audio only. Deepak Chopra, Bob Proctor, Thich Nhat Hanh, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and Marianne Williamson is the new series, along with Lynn Twist and Reverend Michael Beckwith, who we'll be seeing this morning, actually. So just, yeah, plus the best way to do it is to sign up for our community at wisdomoftheworld.com, and all kinds of gifts that Clint and I will bestow upon you when you sign up. I love you and I'm with you. Take care.
Yeah.
You.
Thank you, Gary. So exciting. Yeah. And, you know, whatever is the challenge we're facing, just this weekend, Gary and I were at an event where some of my soul sisters, Brandy and Tenzin, had hosted, and Chief Orville Looking Horse. He's considered like the Pope is to Catholics. He is like that, like the Dalai Lama is to Buddhists. He's like that for his Native American tribe. And he's been doing for 24 years a global day of peace and prayer. And it was really beautiful in that space to look at what we can do and what can we do as a community. And speaking of community, just this last week was the 1-year anniversary of Denny Dakin's passing. And she was someone who, as a child, had faced horrors in the orphanage of being used in such horrific ways that's hard to imagine. And just in honor of her and in honor of courage of this space, we have this little clip from Denny to play, and then we'll go into the really powerful story of Alessandrina and Dr. Cynthia. But just wanted to introduce, for those that didn't know Denny, that no matter what is the horror you're facing, the book that we helped as a community create with her, called Love is the Only Truth, is getting very close. And I know Jill's on this call, has been working hard. Jen has been working hard. So many of you have participated in that. And this is a little clip from Denny. So good to see you. And Gerard, thank you for participating in that. And this is a little clip from Denny. Oh my goodness. So good to see you. So funny. I think I ended up playing the Facebook Live from this call. Let me switch over to get the clip from Denny. Just 1 second. Yeah, here it is. Sorry about that. We're going to rewatch the entire call of us that we just shared. No, here it is. Denny Dakin.
Wisdom as people are trying to get clarity in their lives now. You know, you've lived so deeply. It's not that the length of time you've lived, but the depth in which you've lived it. What wisdom you feel like you can share with us or channel for us that would be beneficial about, you know, how to live and how to love, and in this future, regardless of whatever pain we've experienced in the past, how can we have the best year possible and the best life possible?
One of the most helpful working with my students is the ability to understand the difference between being in an experience and observing an experience. And for those that become seriously, deeply emotional in the moment, so everything in their life is centered or colored by a set prescription, you know, a set thought. When they observe, stand back and look at what it is, their clarity comes in. They can also bring their spirit in, and spirit is standing with the observer, is part of the observer, and the spirit can chat away 9 to a dozen, like mine does, saying, look at it, there's the picture, there's the story, now what are you doing with it? Do you want to go in and drown with it? Do you want to suffer? Do you want this? Do you want that? Or do you want to actually understand why? With love. And it's based on love. It's the love of self more than anything else. And the understanding that warts and all is love, is us. And if we can get that really understood, that every single part of us is simply love, and we are all it, then we can do what you're hoping we can do and become.
It's so beautiful. And coming from where she came from, she was like those girls in a way that Triveni was rescuing. Oh, let me start my video. Sorry about that. She's like what Triveni, she was like those girls Triveni was rescuing, and they come to the point where she can say, everything is love. When we can heal from everything, when we see that, it's so powerful. Jill, before I go to Alessandrina, anything you want to share about the process of completing the book, Love is the Only Truth, or about Dear Denny, about love, healing, about anything you heard from Triveni?
Oh, it's been beautiful listening, and it really hit my heart, hearing what incredible work she's been doing. And yes, it resonated with Denny and her life. You know, there was only one Denny. Her spirit rescued her. So she, in a way, was blessed with that. So thank you for sharing all this. The book, it's almost ready to go off to be professionally edited. I'm handing it over. I've only just got a couple more just to make sure we've added the correct ones, that we've added the edited version, not the unedited version. And then it's off. So it's the next process, which I don't think will take too long. Can't hear you, Clint.
And then I'm putting in the chat, many people have already pre-registered, but I'm putting in the chat both the link to that special call with Denny that was at the beginning of the year, and then also a place, if you want to pre-register for the book, Love is the Only Truth, you have that link. So thank you so much, Jill. So grateful for you.
Pleasure.
Now, Triveni and Gerard, before we move on to the next person, is there anything that you want to say in completion of just introducing us to this powerful thing that you're doing, and this and the possibility that we can all step into being even more courageous? Anything from your heart that you want to share with us?
So firstly, we just like to say, I mean, when Clint asked us to be on this call, we didn't know what to expect, but we definitely didn't expect this, because it's been an overwhelming experience where, we're all in different parts of the world, and yet somehow we're able to share in the same emotion that we're all experiencing right now. When when Ma'am was sharing her story, and even when I'm talking right now, I can actually feel, everything that's coming through this, even though it's a digital screen, but it doesn't really feel like it. It feels like we're all sharing the same moment right now, and I'd like to thank all of you for having us here and for giving us the time and the opportunity to share about this work. And one of the things that's always resonated with us and the work we do every day is because every day we get to see what our work gives us. We walk in and we see this, we see the girls running, jumping around, smiling, and just having to live a normal life where their problems are, you, who took my pen, or why didn't you tell me good morning and told her good morning? And these small little problems that children should have, that you would love to see in them, and it's that brings me into work every day. And Ma'am has, she's got thousands of daughters. We were talking about being courageous, being being a family is something in itself an act of courage. And for Ma'am, she's taken on the job of being a mother to every single girl who comes through here. And Clint can probably has witnessed it, where he's seen every girl calling her mummy around. So yeah, just wanted to thank you and just share that it's moments like this and moments that Ma'am has shared about and that I've shared that really make it that help us get up every day. And then it's not about how hard it gets, or how difficult things are, or how much pain is involved, because at the end of the day, what is healing without pain? So it's something Ma'am has taught me in her work every day, because no matter how hard it gets, she gets up the next morning and is ready to take on the day. So thank you, and if anybody has anything to ask or anything, we'd be happy to share.
Yeah, Triveni, any final thoughts you want to share?
No, thank you. Thank you very much for hearing me, my broken English.
Yeah, Dhanyavad. Now, Triveni, you already have, like Gerard said, you already have thousands of people in your family, thousands of girls in your family. Is it okay if we extend your family a little bit bigger to at least the 100 people that are live on the Zoom, the thousands of people that are going to be watching the recording? Can we all be part of your family as well? And we invite you in our family with love.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more time, let's put our hands
You all are our family, and you are most welcome to visit Rescue Foundation India.
Oh, so beautiful. Let's put our hands together. We are with you. We love you and we're with you. Actually, I just invite everyone that wants to, you can unmute yourself. Just say, I love you and I'm with you. And then they can have this.
Oh, Triveni and Gerard, I love you and I'm
I
with
love you and I am with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
Love you and I am with you.
Love you.
I love you and you're able to
You and I am with you.
amazing.
And I am with you.
Amo e sono con te.
I love you.
And I
Love
am
you,
with
Val.
you.
I love you and
Amo e sono
I
con
love your Indian accent.
I love you and I am with you.
Love you.
Love you and I am with you.
Amo sono
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I am with you.
Esther, ti amo, sono con te.
so beautiful. Triveni, you just got a blast of love from people all over the world. And not only that, but people that now we're family and we're with you. You're not alone in this and you never will be. You're doing something so good and so beautiful. You need to know that you're supported in every way, and not just only financially and prayers and everything like that, but also I want to say that through Ancient Secrets Foundation, helping with herbs, you know, and helping with even whatever training about helping, you know, discovering what do you want and helping support with all the things that you need. We're here with you. And so we're with you 100%.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clint.
Thank you. Now, if you have time to stay on the call, Triveni and Gerard, you're more than welcome. This next story is so remarkable. It's talking about, you know, we want to sometimes give, but we do it at the expense of our own health, especially people on this call that are lovers and are empaths. Sometimes you're serving, but it's at the expense of your own health. I don't want it to be like that in the future for us. I want that when we serve, it nourishes us as well, that it's a win-win. I want to bring that into this space, and that when we give, it's from our abundance. It's from our health. It's from our strength. It's from our joy. It's from our love. It's not from our fear. It's not from our ego. It's not from trying to make up for something, but it's from our strength and from our own experience of what's possible. And especially when you come from the space of Shakti and the possibility. And so when you're listening to this story from Alessandrine and you're thinking about Amrapali Secret, about the love of Dr. Ram, how he devoted his life in such a way, I'm just so excited for you to hear this. So Alessandrina, I don't know if you can come on and start by sharing something about the challenge, your personal story, the challenge that you were facing, how it impacted your life, you know, maybe even how you thought that challenge was normal or, you know, inevitable. I don't know, but just share from your heart your story. I think it can really help and inspire us all.
Thank you so much for asking. And if I may start by really saying I'm so grateful to be here today. And I can feel the love in this community and the story that Triveni and Gerard shared and how they expressed there was so much heart and love in their expression. And I feel so touched by the story that they shared and by the way that everyone is reflecting back about their own process of being in their hearts and letting love guide them. So my story, and there could be so many different ways to talk about this story. And in the context of meeting Dr. Naram, meeting Dr. Naram is one of the most profound experiences that I've had. his love and his sensitivity, his capacity to be so perceptive and present and caring and just being in his heart. I remember the first time I walked into the room and Dr. Naram was there, I immediately felt like I could tell him everything about what was happening within me, and that I would be guided by love. There was really this feeling of being just in this room filled with love and joy and kindness and caring, and this deep understanding of the feminine energy, of Shakti energy, and this desire to serve it and to embody it. So when I met Dr. Naram, I was going through so much emotionally and physically, and I felt very afraid. And Dr. Naram, for all the years that I knew him and that he was there to support my process of shifting out of fear and moving into my heart, and supporting the process of clearing old emotions, like when Trivani was talking about the pain that we can carry from the past, and that can be very difficult to transcend, to be able to really move back into the space of our hearts. For instance, girls who are being trafficked, how difficult it can be to trust other human beings again, and to be in a space of love and feeling supported in the world.
Real quick,
So,
here's the meeting. It wasn't the first time you met, but later on, I remember taking this picture, and so keep going. Sorry about that. I just wanted to.
no, please. So when I started talking with Dr. Naram, and then benefiting from the different herbal remedies, and the marmas were very powerful for me, using the marmas and using different Ayurvedic approaches to my emotions, to my pain, to the ways that my unresolved emotion and pain were affecting me in my life, were affecting my cycle, were affecting my mood, were affecting my relationships. Things started to shift tremendously, and I started being able to face my past, face the pain of the past, and move into a space where I could express more, where I was more comfortable with my emotions and working with them, and therefore healing at that level. And one of the things that, as I was reflecting on a lot of the things that Gary was sharing and others were sharing on this call, and talking about healing and the healing that happens with love, there was this dimension for me of understanding that it's the love that is the healing. So when we shift out of fear into love, that is the healing, and that all of the fear that is in our system, that we've accumulated collectively, personally, and that tends to kind of direct our actions, our decisions in life, that when we shift out of that fear and we move into a space of love, facilitated by many different things, the marmas, the herbal remedies, being in the space with someone with like Dr. Naram, for instance, and many other things, then the body can heal, then we can, come back to a place of balance and harmony within ourselves. And so that's some of my story. And the profound transformation.
Now, just out of curiosity, because this is the last week of the special where people can get Amrapali's secret. Anything you want to share about your experience specifically with Amrapali's secret?
So when as soon as I met Dr. Naram and he recommended taking the formula, the Amrapali formula, I immediately, while it was complicated, because at the time there wasn't an Amrapali formula, I was making everything myself at home, and it required a lot of different ingredients and a lot of focus to bring that into being, and to also move into that space of taking that every day as many times that it was helpful to bring about the change. So when I went on this journey and started taking this herbal remedy, I started shifting. It started really shifting how I felt, how I was thinking, how much more grounded I was. Also, my cycle became regular. I was really suffering from an irregular cycle my whole life, very painful cycle, menstrual cycle, and experiencing a lot of negative emotions, a lot of frustration, a lot of just feelings of not being settled. And therefore that was affecting my relationships. It was affecting my capacity to work, my capacity to be healthy, and even eating. When I was eating, whatever I was eating was also being affected by these emotional components of my system that were not in balance. So when I started taking the remedy, it really helped to rebalance things and to find, more stillness and more silence, and therefore to let my heart open, to trust more, to feel more, to be more connected, and to experience miracles through the gratitude that comes from being in that space of balance and harmony.
So beautifully said. It's amazing when something that's been painful, every month, and when that pain goes away, you have your first pain-free cycle. Or it's amazing with the resourcefulness, the possibility that comes mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and then to see it happen again month after month, where from just making a simple remedy, and that's the one that we ended up putting on page 292 in the book, and now for a short time we have available, that Dr. Ram created even with love to make it easy for people. It's so cool. Then you're in a space you can say, what do I want to do with my life from this capacity, from this abundance? And what Alessandria is doing right now, actually, Alessandria, I think we should have a whole special call on it. But she's working with a powerful team to comprehensively look at some of the challenges we're inevitably going to face on the planet, with climate change and with so many other difficulties, even looking at the financial model, and how is that, in a way, it's kind of raping our mother Earth, because it's incentivizing certain things that aren't healthy for the planet. They're not healthy for humanity. So how can we have different, even financial models and ways of community, and different ways that can actually be healthier, that can give us a chance at survival? Alessandra, do you want to talk for like 1 minute about that? And then we set up another time really to go into it in more detail.
Of course. Is there a specific focus that in that 1 minute?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, for people, when you like for you, your personal story, then you have more capacity. You have more mental presence, emotional reserve of loving yourself, that then from that abundance, you're loving not only those close to you, but you're loving all of humanity. And so where did that guide you to where you're at right now? I think that would be really
wonderful. Thank you. So in that process of coming out of pain and being more in the heart and connecting to others from that love, from that space, I've started working with a nonprofit organization called World System Solutions. And I'm part of the Women's Empowerment team, and I invite Trivani and JR maybe to check it out, because this network helps many different organizations for free. For instance, we have a women's empowerment team, and that team could provide the mental, emotional support for some of the girls that you're rehabilitating. That's something to be aware of and to share. And so, yeah, within WSS, what we're doing right now is we're creating a platform of conscious collaboration and education to help us as a humanity understand what are our options right now, given all of the different challenges that we are facing globally as a humanity, and the collapse of life on the planet in terms of, many species disappearing and the biodiversity disappearing, and therefore the fabric of love that nature holds for us disappearing. How we can come together as a community with all of our voices and understand how can we change the way we do things? How can we engage in a new way of living and loving that is sustainable for all of us, and that really truly cares for future generations. So just not for us and our immediate families right now and the people we love, that said, really allowing ourselves to feel into the future generations and what we're going to give them. And through that process of attunement with the natural world, the generations, just finding solutions, finding a new way of life that is going to support all of us now and in the future.
So cool. If you're a microcosm of the macrocosm, Alessandrina, which I believe you are, how cool for all of us. That as you found the balance inside of you, now you're helping create a balance all around. Like, you just drawn to that. And also I want to acknowledge Dexter as well, and the powerful team that you're working with, that just from their hearts, that love is guiding them in this way. They're not saying, oh, that's too big of a problem. They're not saying, oh, that should be the responsibility of the governments or some organizations. They're saying, no, my heart is calling me to this. I'm part of the whole. And my peace is important. I have a part of the solution. And I hope everyone on this call, you feel that same way, that you are important. Your peace is so valuable. And especially when you come from the place of balance and wholeness within inside of yourself. That's why I keep talking about the 28-day detox starting on August 7th. And we'll put the link again where you can book a consultation with one of the Vaidyas and get started on that. But why not? I really want you to come back, Alessandrina. Maybe we have a special call where after the period of 28-day detox, when people are in a different state, mentally, physically, emotionally, we can look at, okay, what do I want? What's my piece of the puzzle in terms of the solution for whatever are the challenges that we're facing? Maybe some people on this call will feel drawn specifically to what Triveni and Gerard are doing. Maybe some people will feel specifically called towards something else, but you have a piece, and maybe it's through creating music, like Gary and love Nehemiah, just so spontaneously in the space of wanting to contribute and express and be a part of healing and love. The music came out of him. For a lot of people on this call, it's through art and creation and whatever it is. I'm excited about that part of it. So Alessandrina, will you come back and share more with us?
Of course, thank you so much.
Okay, I know you're getting a lot of love from a lot of people from around the world, but let's put our hands together just to say thank you. We love you and we're with you. We love you and we're with you, Alessandrina. So beautiful. I'm so grateful for you, for the powerful path in which your soul is taking, and for inspiring us all through your journey, and your authenticity, and your vulnerability, your grace, and your gracefulness, and your generosity, and in your love. Thank you, Alessandrina.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
So beautiful. So now I know we're getting past the hour-and-a-half mark. I just want to have a teaser. I know, Dr. Cynthia, you have so much that you could share, and I'm thinking what I'd like to do is you to share a little portion of it now, and then it's kind of a teaser, so you can share more on a future call, and then we can go briefly into a breakout room after that for those that want to stay on and say, what is love guiding in you? What did love teach you today? Maybe it's about loving yourself more as the key to it all. And how do you find balance and peace inside of you? Maybe it's through some particular thing that you want to help, or some possibility that as your mind is opening up to your power of your divine soul, whatever is the mountain that's coming, you can meet that. Anything. I just want to hear that. And Dr. Cynthia, because you are such a beautiful example of letting love guide you, you know, and again, in a space in which there's been a lot of turmoil in your life. I'll just let you share your own story. But again, just maybe briefly now as a teaser about
Sure.
what was the pain, and then what
Yeah.
victory you saw, and then we can have you share more as well later.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Dr. Flynn, thank you. And thank you all for being here in this community. It's a kind of real quick-ish, you know, such a beautiful, beautiful call, like so moving. You know, my story that I thought people could relate to, or especially the sort of entangled Shaktis that might be there out here on the call or around the world. But my story is very much about the divine feminine being kind of shut down when I was very little, and I could talk about it another time. But I went through my life with a series of just like chippings away, and I'm not a victim. I'm, you know, a survivor. But I wanted to share a little bit about how that shaped what I thought love was. And you know, for me, my dad was just a very abusive man and was very loud, very aggressive, and he was very absent too. So between, you know, the aggression, there was a little bit of love because he was a physician. So when I was sick, he would care for me. But in between, there was a lot of absence. And so, kind of long story short, I spent a good portion of my life really chasing affection and love, kind of wherever that would be. And, you know, at some point in my life, just with the theme of our call today, you know, I was assaulted and really shut down for a long time. And so my transformation from the MEE has been, you know, I don't even have words for it. I was at a turning point in my life from a marriage that I'm still, it's over, and it's been over for about 7 months, and we're in the end process of divorce. But I wanted to share about my story another time of how I thought the absence of love was better. So I went from like the abusive love and the many stories I can share there around the assault and just my chasing of breadcrumbs, and then to just an absence and a darkness. And so I've moved through that with the MEE, the community, and Unstoppable. And every morning hearing that I could reprogram my mind. And I've come to a place where it's sort of hard to put into a few words, but where I really believe that there's so much more, and I've learned to detach from my ex with a lot of love, which is a miracle for me. So I guess I'll end it there because I don't want to go too into it.
You know, even just from that little snapshot, your vulnerability about the challenge and how it seems like the challenge is present right now, but it's actually bringing a pre-existing wound that wants to be healed. So in that gift you saw in the miracle experiment experience, that now is the time for peace. You know, it's not the absence of love. It's not that love was so painful, now I just close myself off. But I want to acknowledge you, Cynthia, that you're saying, no, actually now is the time for opening up to real
Right.
love.
Well, I thank you. And I just wanted to say really quick how meaningful that is for me, because I've been visualizing in my head the armor that I've literally, like, I'm a physician, so I've done some suturing. And, you know, when I feel like armor has been sewn into my heart for, you know, I'm in my 40s and for a very long time. And the miracle experiment and being vegan the last 6 weeks and listening to all the things and the love and the marmas, I feel like I'm taking those sutures out, and that I'm really, my guides tell me it's time for me to receive, you know.
Yes. Well, in that spirit of you recognizing time to receive, is it okay if we all send this powerful Shakti woman so much love? We want you to receive right now love from people all over the world. Just put our hands together. Oh, we love you and we're with you. Love you and we're with you, Cynthia. Really, it is amazing the capacity when we allow ourselves to receive love. How that can open up our hearts. I love that Alessandrina, she recognized so much, the remedies are powerful, but really it's love that's healing. It's love that's guiding us to the remedies. It's love that guided you to the miracle experiment experience or to the book. It's love that is guiding us and teaching us and bringing us to the exact experiences that are right for us in this moment. And the fact that you're discovering more and more love for yourself is so beautiful and so powerful. And thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to hear more of your story as well, Cynthia, as it unfolds. And are you joining the 28D Detox? Just curious.
So
thank
you. So I ordered all the things and was going to start all the herbs I met with my Vaidya, and my mom did too, because I moved her in with me to take care of her. So we were going to do it together. And then I got really sick with COVID. And so Dr. Wexler, told me to kind of hold off on it. So I want to start on the 8th, but I have all my things. So I want to do it with the support, but I don't need the initial consultation or the herbs. We're ready to go.
Okay, good. You're ready to start with your mom.
I'm ready to start.
I love that. I love it. Also, my mom, she didn't want to do it just invest it on her own. She brought in 2 other people. And so I love what you're doing with your mom.
My mom.
We'll create a way in which that's possible.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know there was some challenge with the link, and so we'll extend the due date of when you need to register, and we'll send an email on that for everyone. But I'm so grateful for you sharing. So grateful for you stepping in this powerful place. Thank you so much. Also, Alessandrina, I know you didn't know about the 28 Detox. I said a special gift of love. If you want to participate in any way, then we'll make sure that that's possible. So, and Alessandrina put the link for the organization in the chat, and I just want to say it's wssnow.org, which is really powerful. Gary put the link for Gaia and how you can get those. I know Gerard and Treveni put the link for how you can connect with them on social media. If you donate through ancientsecretsfoundation.org, that's matched. And then it's so beautiful. And as we're about to go into this space of what has love guided you to do, I got this beautiful, Bettina, can I read your message? I just want to get your permission before I share.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bettina is so beautiful. She says, I'd like to buy some books to gift to the girls. Perhaps we could set up a library that books could be donated to, so each girl gets a chance to read healing books like this one. And then she says, please send me an invoice, and she gives the quantity to start with. It's so beautiful, Bettina. You're amazing. So amazing.
Oh, it was such an inspiring story. I was never trafficked, but I've been the victim of domestic violence and recovered and survived and thrived and all of that. And I know that what you offer in the book could probably heal 1,000 or 10,000 girls. So my contribution is minimal, but let's get it started.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's like, instead of giving someone a fish, you teach them how to fish. And one thing about this healing system is it's not about making people dependent, it's about making them independent. And what if we can help one girl like Alessandrina, like Cynthia, like, what do parents want for their kids? Yeah, they want them to succeed educationally, financially, but ultimately they want us to be happy. And so Cynthia, even in the beautiful process of that she's in right now, and having one of the highest degrees of being a medical doctor and a family, but then realizing, there's something more the soul is calling for, and that's for peace. It's
maybe they could read the book in circle or like in a book club fashion, and share the books that come in and read it aloud.
Maybe even Bettina, maybe you can guide them. Maybe you can be part of that circle with them.
I would love that. I would totally love that.
Okay, beautiful. Gary, are you still on the call? Let's see, I think Gary had to drop off. So now we're here. He had a musical piece to complete with, but I think he's actually getting ready the mung soup that we're about to have together. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. We're going to go into a breakout room right now where you can have a chance to share, what did love guide you? What did love teach you today? And what is love guiding you to? And it could be about how to love yourself more in a certain way. It could be about becoming involved in something that you're becoming aware of, some situation that you really think, actually, I can be a part of the solution. It may be any number of things, but I just am excited for this chance for you to dive into this experience. Before we go into that breakout room, I just want to have one more time where you can unmute yourself. And just to all the people who shared and all the people that they're blessing and helping, and to all the people who are on this call, just rub your hands and say, I love you. I'm with you.
I love you.
I love you and I'm
Love
with
you.
you.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Love
I love you and I'm with you. I love you.
And I'm with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you.
And I love you.
And I'm with you.
Esther.
I love
And I'm with you.
you.
I
I
love
love you.
you.
And I'm with you.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Now, one more time, I want you to rub your hands together. This time, I want you to put them right on your heart and say, when you say, I love you and I'm with you, you're speaking to yourself.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
So beautiful. And in whatever way love is guiding you, we're going to go into a breakout room right now. If you have time to stay, I would encourage you to, or you can stay on in the breakout room for basically as long as you want to. I'm just gonna, let's see if I can reschedule the rooms. Or did someone open up the rooms already? Jaina, you open up rooms? I don't know, someone did. So you can see a breakout room. Feel free to accept that invitation. Go into the breakout room and you can have a chance to discuss what did love guide you to do today? Or what did love teach you today? And what is love inspiring you to do? For those watching the recording, thank you. We love you. We're with you. And looking forward to the next Sunday's call that Jaina will be guiding. I'll be in Europe with Dr. Giovanni. I'm looking forward to see you also on next Sunday's call. Love you, and I'm with you.